And we're live.
We're back and we're late, and I'm sorry. I just ran from the council chambers into here to do mayor's update. Still give you your full half hour mayor's update tonight, but great guest tonight. Adrienne's with us. We're going to talk parks and flowers and planting and lots of other things in our community. Right? Grayden, you're here.
Yes.
Always happy to have you with us. Right? Yeah, happy Earth Day, by the way. It's Earth Day today, and I feel like I've done so little for Earth Day. Normally, we'd be out doing a litter cleanup or something else, but today's been so full with council being tonight and mayor's update tonight. We've got community cleanup going on for a week or two, so that's going to help fill in. Right? You've got a neat event coming up on Thursday.
Yes, we have the community tree giveaway.
Yeah.
That's happening at One Password Park. Thursday, April 24th at 9:30 in the morning.
So they should just go to One Password Park and just pull out whatever tree they want.
Is that how it works?
Well, not quite.
Okay. I'm glad we came on tonight then.
So there will be staff there that will be helping people pick a tree. And we're asking that it's only one tree per household, just so that we can give out as many as we can. And also, if you want mulch, to bring your own bucket with you.
You've got mulch to give away too.
Yes, to protect the tree when you
get it home, and so that it helps self-water and be a really healthy tree early in the spring. It's still early in the spring.
Very much.
But that's unique. About how many trees will we give away? Well, I know we gave a number away last year.
Yeah, I think it's around 155 trees that we give away.
So maybe you want to be there early.
Yes, it's definitely first come, first serve.
Right. Great. But when we give away 100 trees and they go get planted in our community, it's 100 more trees we have planted in our community.
That's right.
A positive piece. So.
Yeah. And that, leads to a lot about what we're talking about today. The city of St. Thomas has actually been recognized as a tree city.
Yes.
One of the only 13 cities in Ontario that has been recognized for this. And that's because we have a strong commitment to the urban forests through tree care and maintenance, tree tracking and planning, and annual events such as this one that bring the community together to get more trees planted.
Well, and we have a lot of trees to get planted, and this helps us by asking our citizens to come forward and get a tree and go home and plant it.
As a department, we can manage the municipal property and the trees that we have in the municipal areas, but we can't get to the private lands where the most amount of land is available.
Sure.
And so this helps to get us to get trees planted on.
So you can't just walk on some random person's property and plant a tree because it's a good thing to do?
Well, we could, but...
Hey, you and I could try that. We'll videotape it. Let's see how many people... Private you kids, get off my yard.
Yes. No, I'm not sure there would be many people who would be too upset about that. But
well, we're a tree city, and you've given some of the reasons why, because we do a very good job of protecting the tree species that are in St. Thomas and replanting those that we have to take out for any other purpose. And even as trees grow old enough to have to be taken out, we always have to plant more.
Right, exactly.
And we do it well.
Yes, we do it well. By both of the bylaws that we have in place too.
We kind of force ourselves to do it, but I'd like to think we do it just because we love doing it.
That's right.
What bylaws? What bylaws do we have in place?
So we have two tree bylaws in place. One is a municipal tree bylaw, which our staff governs the removals of any municipal trees, and then replacements as well. We do a number of replacements a year. Depending on how many trees we have to take out dictates how many we put back in when it comes to road reconstruction or any, trees that just need to come down for safety reasons or anything like that. But then we also have the private tree bylaw, which we have put in place to protect trees over a 30 centimeter DBH. So that's measuring from the ground up to breast height, about 30 centimeters in size. And there is a permit process that the public need to go through in order to apply to have these trees removed. And then depending on the size of the tree, will dictate how many replacements are needed or if there's a cost involved.
Okay,
great. I know it's not related, but it's similar. We're also a bee city.
We are also a bee city. So we've been a bee city since 2023.
I think we're A.
Yeah.
But bee by pollinator standards.
That's right.
Yes.
So that is recognizing our commitment to pollinators and their habitat. And that's because we are providing spaces in our parks and along our recreational trails that have native plants planted to improve the pollinator species in the spaces that they can live.
And it's been, if you walk some of our trails now that we've naturalized,
Yes.
and we have native grasses and other things along the trails now that some people call and complain to the mayor about.
Yeah.
Hey, when are you going to cut this grass? No,
Yeah.
it's naturalized. It's for the pollinators. All right. But it is, you just walk by and you kind of stir up a path of butterflies that kind of walk with you.
There's a beautiful sound.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
Right. And I know many other communities are doing a similar thing, but there are people who just love good old asphalt and golf course style grass.
Right.
And so we're here to share with you that we've naturalized a lot of the areas in our city, and not because we don't like cutting grass, but because the naturalized grasses allow pollinators to live freely in that system.
Yeah.
And so please be thankful that you're a bee city.
Right.
And say, oh, way to go, this looks really good. So now when you walk by, say, oh, this must be one of the naturalized grasses that Adrienne and Joe were talking about that night.
Exactly.
So they shouldn't call in to the customer service line to get it all cut down.
They can call in. We may share with them that news again, that is naturalized. And of course, if it's on your neighbor's lot, we may actually have a tidy lot bylaw piece that we have to deal with, but we don't know if that's what they've done. We just know it looks like it needs to be cut. So please use your customer service smart sense and call in and share with us.
Yeah, we've done over 13 acres in town. Of the naturalizing, and there's also an amendment to the tidy lot bylaw that allows for people to plant on their own properties as well, as long as it's maintained and it's purposely planted.
Right.
Yeah.
Very good.
Perfect.
We've got a question that just came in about Alma College trees, and what is the timeline for replacing the ones that were removed?
I believe they have been replaced, or it's part of the development. I mean, that would be information that I would have to get from staff.
I can share a little, having lived at Alma for a little while. Michael has replaced a lot of trees, but certainly not in the areas where the second apartment building is going up and where the third one will go up. It doesn't make sense to. So I think there's a series of replacing the trees that were taken out in order to place the 3 apartment buildings. But I've had this conversation with the owner, Michael Loth, about his replacement, and he's quite excited about finishing the 3rd building so that we can do some of the kind of landscaping that goes with his naturalization of the property too. Something
to keep in mind too with the bylaws is that the trees don't necessarily have to be replanted on the site that they were removed from, because sometimes there's construction going on, there's buildings being built, there's no room for them. We allow them to plant them anywhere within the city, either private or municipal, as long as they're replanted and contributing to our urban forest. We're happy with that.
And that ties into like Yarmouth Yards. A lot of people are talking about the trees that were removed from Yarmouth Yards.
Yes.
And so you have a plan to replant those, because obviously they can't go in the same location. So there's going to be other places within the city.
Well, we think there will be some space on Yarmouth Yards and some very good landscaping once we've put great money-making industries there.
That's great. So some trees are actually going to go back onto that location.
Well, we hope to surround some of the great industrial facilities that are bringing jobs to our community with berms and trees around them too. We hope that that's exactly the case that we end up with. So that's why, you say, oh, you took down all the trees. We have a period of time with which to replace them. And Adrienne, I know that your team's been doing a great job of taking some now, and as you say, planting them other places, because we have a lot of trees to replace from the removal on Yarmouth Yards.
Yeah, and actually our department wasn't involved with that, but we do have a tree inventory for the city of St. Thomas that marked out our current trees, the current urban forestry, and areas that are in need of planting, so that we know in the future where to put the trees when we need to put something somewhere.
Very good, very cool.
Yeah.
What else have I got? Look, there's nothing more beautiful than some of our basic parks, our biggest parks, Pinafore Park, Waterworks Park.
Yeah.
I've got to tell you how I can lower my anxiety simply by sitting on a bench in one of those 2 parks for just a bit of time, on any day I can. I know that we're well known. People around here talk about how great a job your Parks Department does, right?
Thank you.
Please don't be anxious. It's spring.
Mhm.
It's right now. It's still really early in the year. We will get to, and I know every year there's 100 calls that come into the mayor's office. Why haven't you cut the grass here yet? Why haven't you cut the grass here yet? Well, part of it is a pollinator situation.
Right.
We certainly don't want to cut grass before such time as pollinators have done their work. But also, as we move into spring, you've got a lot of work with your Parks Department doing a bunch of things.
Yes.
It isn't always just trimming and cutting grass.
That's right.
And so we ask, please have a little patience. Let us know. Call customer service if you're on. If you'd like us to know, but recognize that there's this time in spring where it takes a while, and then of course we start to get our summer students in,
Yes,
and
which
they
starts
do
next week.
right.
Monday.
So
Yep.
so it's been cold long enough this
That's
year
right.
that people aren't complaining about.
Yes.
I know in past springs it's been quite warmer, and so things were really blooming,
Right.
and we had a lot of conversation.
Yeah.
But thank you for the great work that our Parks Department does in making our city look beautiful. And this year, we'll still have a bit of a gap, folks. There'll be a lot of work
Yeah.
during the rainy season of April and May that really makes grass grow.
And we have over 40 staff members that take care of over 700 acres of parkland.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
And we got a shout out that Marcus Hocko really likes the guest appearances, and he likes you a lot, I think, and he wants to know, what concession are you the most excited to open in the next few weeks?
I'm going to say Pinafore, 1Password, and Doug Terry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
those are they're very well run,
That's
and they're
right.
incredibly good concessions,
Yes.
and lots of neat things happening at all of those. I know that we're getting into the first pitch of slow pitch in the next couple of weeks.
Yep.
We got an event coming up this weekend at 1Password with a great new football team in town called
Yeah.
soccer
Talk about
team.
that yet?
Otherwise,
Yeah.
I just said that.
Does anyone know yet? Is this the first that people are hearing?
Oh, I think it was news today.
News today.
That this
All right.
Friday we're doing a welcoming of the Forest City football team, soccer team to 1Password Park. But Friday night is their kind of grand
Right.
announcement.
Yeah.
So please come see us there and visit the concession.
That's right.
Right.
Great ice cream.
Yeah.
We got a question from Michael Vaughn asking if you can fix his moldy, stinky basement from an illegal developer in Miller's Pond.
Well, Michael Vaughn has been asking this question about flooding for about going back 5 years. But I asked him the other day, could you tell us what you're looking for? He's got a developer problem, and I'd suggest that's where he goes with it. And certainly our customer service would help him if at all possible. So I can't deal with a problem you've had for a number of years, but please let us know more details about it, and we'll at least be able to speak with knowledge about it.
Mm-hmm. And then we've got another question in here. Is last week you mentioned that Waterworks Park was upstream of the new Dalewood water treatment plant, but Waterworks is actually downstream of both the proposed plant and outlet. Water treatment plants grind and dump the raw waste along with chemicals after heavy rains. When the system can't keep up, how is the city planning on managing and monitoring the contamination levels both during and after a flood? Also, what will be done to prevent the solids from being left in the park after the water drains?
Well, the water reclamation plant we're talking about truly is after the Dalewood Lake. So it is into Kettle Creek there. You're suggesting that Kettle Creek then flows through Waterworks from there? I mean, if that's what you're suggesting, it's not the path that I know of, so I'll have to take a look. Certainly, we're doing our best in doing both things, and that is building a most modern wastewater treatment plant we possibly can. We talked last week about Waterworks Park and the flooding it sees each spring, and I know we've had a discussion, and many of council's had a discussion as to is there something that can be done? I think I shared last week that it's in a floodplain.
It is.
And so it will flood. That's the term of a floodplain as we get a great melt of snow or rains in the spring, Waterworks will continue to do that. So
We're also working on a dam assessment that will be done
Right.
this year for the
So
Waterworks.
that was asked, should we
Yeah.
take the small little dam out of Waterworks
Mhm.
Park? I think some of the information we have on it is, well, that's what helped keep the lily ponds full of water in the summer, but is it worth taking that dam out to see if we flow water better in the high water periods of time? But that assessment's being done, and we'll let experts come back and help us.
Exactly. Yes.
Love it. Adrienne, do you have any other pieces there?
I just want to mention the Wild Wisdom event series that
Yes.
we've been working on with tourism over the last year. So it allows the public to come in and experience some of the different parts of the Parks Department along with staff. Last year we did one at the beginning of the year, which talked about what we do in the wintertime. And then we moved on into the spring and we talked about pollinators. We worked with Brandon and Ashley Fox in Shaw Valley Park, and we planted
Right.
some pollinator plants that they grew for us and donated to the Parks Department. This year we're looking at some tree pruning activities that the public can join in on, just so that they can understand how to properly prune a tree. And I've also invited Professor Pricklethorn to come and speak to the children during a camp during the summer, and he really educates children from a science perspective on trees. So we're excited to
You and
have
I
that.
should go learn something.
We should,
Yes.
honestly.
So
Good.
once information is finalized for that, it'll be on the Railway City Tourism website.
Perfect.
It's a great site.
Yes.
Well, and they also share a lot of what's going on in our community in certain events. And,
Exactly.
and I know we even sneak a look at it to try and predict what's happening in the next week.
Exactly.
Right.
Okay. Mike Rogers is going to saying, please have a look into this. The creek is what feeds into the park. My concern is more about what will now end up in the park when it floods.
Well,
Very
that's why we need to be sure that the effluent that comes out of a wastewater treatment plant, as we have on Bushline, is fully treated as it goes to the exit. We only have, I shared last week and we'll continue to share, we only have Kettle Creek passing through our city as a place where we can use as the exit for a water reclamation plant. So we're looking for the absolute best technology there is to make sure what we're doing doesn't affect downstream. And I keep relying on experts.
Absolutely. Well, Adrienne, what's one of your favorite things about the Parks Department?
There's so many of them. These are parks that I grew up in as a child. And so I remember what those memories are like. And I love being able to put in a new playground for a child to play on, or, you know,
A new
take
splash
a walk,
pad.
or take a walk down a recreational trail. I mean, with all that's going on in the world, I love that the parks is just a peaceful place for people to come and enjoy.
Well, I think you and I should both thank Adrienne for the great work that our Parks Department does in growing flowers for downtown.
100%. I was just about to go there.
Okay, then I'll let you finish my thought. Just like at home here tonight.
That's right. That's right. Adrienne does such an incredible job on doing the downtown flowers. The whole Parks Department works very hard at both installing the flowers and then watering them. And one of the things that people don't know about that is they have to continually water them because it's so hot.
Right.
So they have to water them way more
They're
than you
hanging
would
up
think.
close to the sun.
Yeah.
And fertilizer.
The fertilizer.
To keep them happy. So there's a great team at the Parks Department that's responsible for putting all of this together, and without them, we wouldn't have what we have.
Perfect.
So, yes.
Yeah, absolutely. And then the entrance to Pinafore Park. I know Matt Robinson in the past has done a really cool.
Something Minecraft one year.
I can't give out that secret.
No. So we can't like scoop that.
No.
So it's not a full-size portrait of Grayden Laing.
It might be.
I wish.
Yeah,
if you
could be.
Matt, if you do that,
we're coming to do a show from there.
We'll do a show there. I'll give you a shout out on every mayor's update for a week. A month, a year, you know.
Yeah.
It should be planted around the first part of June. So
Okay.
So you use pretty much the same rules my mom always used. That May 24th is when you could actually put things in outdoors.
Yes.
And if you try to do it before, you can get certainly in a lot of trouble with frost.
Right.
Or doesn't grow as well.
Yeah.
And so we'll prepare. We'll turn over beds.
Yes.
We'll do all the trimming
Yeah.
and other stuff that has to happen. But truly, that last weekend in May is when you can expect to see our parks planted.
Well, we start after that last weekend in May. It usually takes about 3 to 4 weeks, and it's because they're annual plants, so
Right.
they can't stand up to frost. And given this year and how cold it's been, you
Oh.
could very well have a
Oh,
frost.
I can't stand
that's
up.
rough.
No,
It's been crazy.
Yeah.
Every time I think of like, oh, this is great. It's going to finally like warm up. It snows.
Right.
Like what? Oh, already got some more questions for you in there, Mayor.
okay.
Yeah.
What do we got?
We got a question about would you be willing to, going back to the Dalewood residents, would you be willing to have a public meeting with the Dalewood residents to address their concerns regarding the water reclamation facility?
Well, we've had a number of public meetings on the reclamation facility. I was just talking to Councillor Gibson, who attended certainly one of the first ones that had over 100 people at it. So, look, we got to get past. There's a May 8th date that we're currently in where people can give input, and we're getting a lot of email and input. And so I would like not probably to have a meeting during that time.
Mhm.
And after that date, let's see what comes next.
Okay. Very good. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Got a shout out from Brett Longfield for the Parks team.
Yes.
Great job.
Way to go, Brett. Is it Brett's birthday today or was it yesterday?
I don't know.
Well, anyway, happy birthday-ish. If it was yesterday or today, I forget.
Happy birthday.
I remember it going by.
Okay.
Yeah.
Love it. All right. So, any other questions for the Parks team, folks? We've got Adrienne here. She's an expert.
Yeah.
And she will answer all your questions. What was happening at council today, Mayor?
Oh, there's a lot of things, but let's pull up those paperwork.
Well, maybe we'll go to break, and Adrienne,
Right.
you can
Sneak out.
take a break. You don't have to be here for the.
All right.
Right.
Sounds good.
All right, let me just go to break here. I've got the break slide. Thought I had a break slide. I said I had a break slide, but do I actually? All right, I'm going to put on the returning soon, and we'll be right back after this break.
Okay.
Well, we're back.
We're back. Okay, we got a bunch of city council stuff to
Yeah.
cover. As you noticed, it went
Mhm.
late tonight.
A little bit.
We want to thank Adrienne for being here with us and talking parks. One of the first things that was covered tonight in new business was the Parks and Rec master plan.
Mhm.
Remember, we've been out surveying and doing on the phone surveys, at home show surveys,
Yeah.
and everywhere we can be online surveys
Mhm.
for our master plan for parks and recreation.
Yep.
All right. It's over 2,700 people, which is a huge number. For a survey.
2,700. Wow.
Yeah, it's
That's
and
crazy.
Great, have given us input so far.
Yeah.
And you know what we're going to do now?
What?
We're going to take that, compress it, and go back out again, talking about Parks and Rec master plan, and also talking about the community center,
Mhm.
recreational complex, pool, whatever we call that thing.
Yeah.
We also made reference to. So that's happening. They gave us a first of the reports today. And we talked about the proposed zoning for for Balaclava School,
Mhm.
for the Indwell building we're doing there. Some rezoning for Doug Terry. We had some reports from our committee, our Heritage Committee.
Mhm.
The Ontario, there's a Ontario Heritage Tax Relief Program for those that own heritage properties. So we're having a report come back to us from council as to what would be the cost of that. How would we run it here in St. Thomas? Thank you, Heritage Committee, for that. Second one from the Heritage Committee is a process to how to delist heritage properties. We've had a couple of people who own heritage properties
Mhm.
come to council, and we've been
Yeah.
able to deal with it, but we're coming up with a process. and then they approved the request for the alterations at 20 Balaclava, the Balaclava School. We're removing that old 1980s gym in the back and leaving the building.
Love that gym.
Okay. We're putting some housing right there on top of that gym for you. And right now that may be needed than the gym sitting there empty.
I guess, if it's for the best, Joe, if it's for the best. But
we passed a resolution tonight so that Bella Jacks can have a licensed patio out on the steps on downtown St. Thomas. And then we did a bunch of our normal bylaws. Mm-hmm. So we recognized that it was Earth Day. Mm-hmm. We talked about it being Maple Day at the Horton Winter Market this Saturday. Yep. Can't wait. Attended last week and went home with way more than I hoped to buy, but I did buy it.
Always happens, right? Every time.
And then we also recognized the DDB and the Oktoberfest event of 2024 being recognized by the BAA conference, the 2025 Business Improvement Area Conference. The number one event was Oktoberfest in St. Thomas.
It's incredible.
Now I mentioned Councillor Taylor tonight. Now, you were with me in 2023, the first Oktoberfest.
The coldest,
cold,
wettest,
and rainy, and we're trying to set up picnic tables and going, whose idea was this?
The tents were blowing away.
It paid itself back with the Oktoberfest of 2024, and it being recognized as one of the greatest events ever known to happen in Canada. No, I'm just saying, at least among BIA.
The second best Oktoberfest in Canada.
Well, that was our slogan. We're number two. Right?
We like to live up to what we say.
No, and so we certainly did. So we, number two is number one, I guess. Right? It's what we'll have to do. Right?
Oh, I love it.
So that's council tonight.
Very good. Thanks, Joe.
Yeah.
Thanks,
What's
Mayor.
going on?
Yeah. Julian Rick is saying that his birthday is coming up this Thursday. So happy birthday, Julian.
It's a whole week worth of extravaganza, Julian, or are you just celebrating on Thursday? I'll try and come in and see you Thursday.
Yeah, I saw him the other day, and he did mention about the Special Olympics. And please, Julian, have them reach out to me because we want to get them on. We want to talk.
about Special Olympics here on Mayor's Update. And Brent goes, Maple. Yeah, way to go. Thanks, Brett. Yeah. I love it too. I can't wait to see what maple treats there are this week. Right?
We're just rolling back to Mike Rogers in terms of the public meeting, and he's just asking if that was a yes or a no.
It was. We're going to wait till after the date is met for this round of public opinion. Mm-hmm. I don't call public meetings on just the mayor's thought. It'll have to come.
You don't just get to do it all on your own?
Yeah, isn't it funny how I'm just one vote of 9 councillors?
Well, if you'd taken those strong mayor's powers, you'd have to take all the responsibility.
I suppose, yeah. But how about we work together with the great 9 we have?
Sounds like a great idea.
And continue to work that way.
I love it. All right.
Julian says he works on Thursday, so I will be in to visit you when we get back, Julian.
Love it. Mike Rogers is saying, we understand that the water reclamation facility is a sensitive topic and it is necessary. You said we have until May 8th to raise concerns. Is the plan to hold a meeting to address our concerns?
Well, we've asked 3 times. I'll have to ask council if that's their intent after we reach the current 30-day information gathering piece. Mm-hmm. We have very few other places we can put a water reclamation plant in this city, except along Kettle Creek. Right. And we already have one along Kettle Creek in the south. And so we have gone to the ministry and said, here's our appropriate site. And we certainly want to listen to the neighbors.
Very good. All right. Well, we're coming to the end of our time here. Is there anything else you want to share with the citizenry before we reconvene next week?
No, it's been a long council meeting today. I'm looking forward to Mayor's Update next week. We got lots to do there too. And then some more travel coming up. So tomorrow I'm out of town all day with the health thing with Stephanie. And on the 12th of May, I go to Japan.
What?
At this moment, yes.
That's amazing. Well, didn't you just get out of town, like go to Germany?
Okay, we seem to be putting this all together, but we also have
vacation.
Yeah.
I see how it is.
I'm going to tape this vacation for you to see how much we actually
Please do. Live from Japan.
Well, we hope to do 2 Mayor's Updates from Japan. We think it's fantastic. At 6:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So we'll on the days appropriate, we'll make sure that we do talk about it. St. Thomas has a number of Japanese industries, as does Southern Ontario, and a number of mayors from the SOMA group, Southern Ontario Marketing Allowance Group,
Yeah.
are going to visit their appropriate benefactors of industry in our community in Japan. So we hope to come back with some great thoughts on how we can share the wealth of Southern Ontario with Asia, as we just came back with how we can share the wealth of Southern Ontario with the EU.
Isn't it great how, you get a little instigation and all of a sudden all these opportunities arise?
Well, we keep getting more and more people wanting to build their businesses in St. Thomas. So let's keep that up.
Absolutely. We have a question in from Mark here. He's saying, what subdivision is Doug Terry reassigning?
There was something, a change to the zoning in an application for a renewal of temporary removal of the part-time lot or the part lot control for semi-detached dwellings on lot 14 to 20 and 42 to 48 on registered plan. I believe this is in Miller's Pond. So he's changing part of what was set to go there to be semi-detached dwellings.
Very good. And Julian's saying, where do you want them to message me from? And just go to the establishedmedia.ca website, and there's a contact form in there. Just have them fill out that stuff, and then that message will get right into me.
Perfect.
Which is perfect. And you know what else we have coming up?
Oh,
an election.
Oh, yeah, coming Monday night. So less than a week today.
Yeah.
If you haven't already voted, boy, a lot of people did. I saw you attempted to over the weekend.
That's what I wanted to say. It's like, please, everybody, and that's what I said in that post, is like there are different electoral districts for this election than previously. So you might not be able to vote in the place you voted the last time.
Well, you've got an election card, hopefully, telling you where to go. Please pick it up, and please bring 2 pieces of ID with you. Bring a pen if you want to help mark your X. I've heard a fair bit of complaints about them giving you a pencil.
I have heard a lot
of that,
too.
And I said, what is this about? Somebody said, well, they could erase my vote. Well, okay. I think we'd be able to tell on the ballot. But please bring your own pen then, if you're worried. Please do. It's great.
And I also want to say, like, whatever your political affiliation, vote.
Right.
That's what we're
in democracy. No reason to complain if you haven't. I know that's something Steve Peters would usually say, but it's true, right?
Yeah.
And please be friendly. This has become just so almost stupid. And as a politician, as mayor, and certainly a member of parliament before, when did we start hating somebody because they had an opinion different than ours? That's how we learn things, folks. I mean, Grayden and I differ a lot, but mostly we learn from each other, and it works.
At the end of the day, our core values are the same, and that's we want our community to be better.
That's right.
Going forward, every day, how can we make it better?
Right. How do we make St. Thomas a better place?
Yeah.
And we work together for that. And do we always agree? No, we don't.
No.
Right. But
we don't. I don't go and post about you online.
And you don't go break out the windows of my.
I know. I don't scratch up your Jeep or my Jeep.
In this, folks. Please use your common sense and your good nature and a little Christian values to say.
I say the Christian values would be a really good.
And I think it's a good addition right now.
All values. I mean,
well, all values, but we've got 6 days left in this, and I've heard even families bickering, and I think that probably happens in my family too, because I'm a bit of the black sheep. I was there, but it doesn't mean we don't love each other afterwards, and that's what we need to make sure we're doing. Please. We got lots to do this summer and some great things. So don't lose your friends right now. Choose your country, choose your city, we all want it to be better. Some people have different views on how to make it better.
Yeah. And I would say too, like some people are being attacked online. Some businesses are being attacked online in our community.
That makes no sense.
Support them.
Right.
Call them.
Right.
Let them know that you care, because it's easy with the online stuff to get caught up in a whirlwind.
Right.
So please reach out to the people as things are happening, and let's show the love that we have as a community and how we can work together.
Right. And talk about, anyway, just love your community, love where you live, love your country. Everywhere I've traveled in this world, I've always run into somebody who says, how do I get to come to Canada? We're well respected other places, and occasionally we forget that where we currently live.
Greatest country in the world, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And let's just keep it that way, guys.
Yeah.
All right.
Thanks.
Signing off.
I miss you already.